Hey juniors, I'm Mrs. Angie Smith and I teach AP Literature and Dual Enrollment English, and so I'm just going to give you a little bit of information to maybe help you decide which class is best for you your senior year. So AP Literature is the highest level of English that we have for seniors at Rossview, and when you take it, you are focusing on literature with some writing and a lot of discussion in class, and with that you will get 3 credits if you pass the AP exam with a 3, 4, or 5. And most universities accept a 3, 4, or 5, giving you credit for likely an English class, sometimes in a literature class, and sometimes what they consider an elective. It just depends on the school that you're attending. Most state schools will take a 3. Some of the higher level private schools, like say Vanderbilt, will only take a 4 or a 5. So you do need to double check and see whether they would accept your score depending on what you get. And so the AP Literature exam is 2 parts. The first part is multiple choice, and the second part is 3 essays: a poetry essay, a prose essay, and what's called an open-ended essay, generally on a play or a novel. And so in AP Literature, we focus on a lot of discussion, a lot of collaborative work, a lot of Socratic seminar type discussion. And so you have to be really comfortable with talking in front of other people. And then obviously, because this is a literature-based class, we are focused more on literature. Okay, it's fiction, not nonfiction. And so you need to be able to read well and comprehend what you read, and also, at least to an extent, to enjoy reading, because you're going to be doing a lot of reading on your own. We do very little reading in class, with the exception of plays. And I do focus in AP Literature on a wide variety of authors. It is not strictly one area or one genre, so it's more world literature. We do a little bit of American literature, nothing that you would have covered in junior year, though. A lot of world literature, focusing on Europe, some Middle Eastern literature, and even some Canadian literature. So it's a wide variety. If you take AP Literature, you get 5 points added to all of your 9 weeks grade as well as your exam. We generally take a mock exam in December for your exam, so it's not like a regular one that you're used to. And with that, the focus is really on critical thinking and being able to write about what you've read. So I'd say the focus is on literature and reading with writing about your literature. So if you happen to be in AP Lang now, you focus on nonfiction and you focus a lot on writing style, and we're kind of the opposite. So we focus on fiction and we discuss what we've read and then write about that. Okay, so it does take a little bit of time to get used to the differences. Who I take in AP Literature is generally our highest level of student, and so that's going to be generally people with, say, a 3.4, 3.5 cumulative average or above. And as far as ACT scores, I would say, since you're early in your junior year right now, or only midway, well, generally probably in the lower to mid 20s is about average, but I will have people who've got, say, a 21, 22 on the ACT, and then there will be people who've obviously gotten, around a 28, 29, 30 on the ACT. So there's a wide variety there. I look at your ACT scores. I also look at the recommendations that you turn in from your English teacher and the core subject teacher. Both of those do need to be from 10th or 11th grade teachers, because 9th grade has been just too long ago, and generally we hope that you've matured since 9th grade. So I'll look at your ACT scores, your cumulative average, your teacher recommendations, what you write on your application, as well as the piece of writing that you turn in to me. And so generally we accept around 50 students in AP Lit because there are 2 sections. If we have a high number of people who are interested and you're all qualified, then I will consider taking more people. If you're looking at dual enrollment English, that is if AP Lit's up here, dual enrollment's just underneath it. You are also getting college credit for being in dual enrollment. You get 3 credits for fall, which is English 1010, Introduction to Composition, and you get 3 credits for the spring, which is English 1020, which is argumentative writing. And so dual enrollment is very much centered around writing and composition, doing a whole bunch of different essay styles, what's called modes of writing. We'll do some persuasive, some argument, some narration, process analysis, sometimes a wider variety too, like a definition essay and a personal statement. It just depends. And with that, your credits are coming through Nashville State. So you are technically a student at Nashville State Community College. And because of that, you do get the benefits that come along with that. We also have to follow the rules that Nashville State has. So if you're in the class, you have to follow their rules for attendance, grades, what they require as far as both of those composition classes. So technically you are not enrolled necessarily at Rossview High School. Your grade is coming from Nashville State, and so we do have to do everything that they say in order for you to get that grade. And so the dual enrollment grant, which is provided from money from the Tennessee Lottery, will pay for your tuition at Nashville State as long as you maintain an 80 or a B grade in the class. So their grading scale is 90, 80, 70, 60. So as long as you get an 80 or above, then you can stay in the class for second semester. If you don't get an 80, then the only way to stay in for second semester is with 1, my approval, and 2, with paying tuition to Nashville State. And that generally is somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 to $400. It's still a lot cheaper than what it would be at, say, a state university. Austin Peay, for example, would probably be about double that for one class in terms of their tuition. So you do get 4 points added to your 9 weeks grades, both of those at Rossview, but those 4 points are not added to your Nashville State grade. And your grade at Nashville State is a 50-50, or I'm sorry, at Rossview is 50% from the first 9 weeks in the semester, and then 50% at the second 9 weeks in the semester. You do take an exam, but that counts for the second 9 weeks grade. There are no 9 weeks at Nashville State, though, so the entire grade is not given until the end of the semester in December and May. If you do end up doing well on both classes, then you walk away with 6 credits of English for your college, and that will generally transfer to just about every school. We haven't found one yet that has not accepted that. And so with that, you would probably walk into most of your colleges with 6 English credits. And most universities, whether you be an AP Lit or dual, most universities have 2 or 3 English classes that are required. So if you're in AP, you're going to cover 1 class. If you are in dual, you're going to cover 2 classes. And so why would you take AP versus dual, okay, or vice versa? AP Lit students would be the ones who are looking to be a bit more highly competitive. So let's say you are looking at a school, maybe it's Belmont or Vanderbilt or Swanee, or a private school elsewhere in the South, East Coast, West Coast. If that's the case, then really AP Lit is your thing. And if you're really looking at being competitive for scholarships, then you probably also need to look at AP Lit. Again, keeping in mind that you should be fairly stellar student, in the neighborhood, like I said, of 3.4 or 3.5 on your GPA and above, and to be able to work independently with your reading, and to be here regularly with your attendance, and to be able to discuss and write and do all the things that AP Lit requires. For dual, if you're thinking, well, you don't really need to be competitive, that you want to go to X school, and that you're pretty certain you're not looking for, a full ride somewhere, then dual enrollment might be your option. And in that case, you are getting those college credits, but you don't quite have the hierarchy that, say, AP Lit does. And then if I were talking about honors, so if we've got AP Lit at the top, you've got dual underneath that, then honors is going to be underneath dual. So the students that take honors are generally the ones who don't meet the requirements for dual. For dual, you do have to have a 3.0 cumulative average, grade point average, and you do have to have a 20 on the ACT. And again, AP is a bit higher than that. And so if you don't meet the 3.0 GPA and you don't have a 20 on the ACT, but you really do want to have a little bit, like more drive towards your English grades senior year, then honors may be the place for you. I can tell you that we have fewer honors classes than ever before because we prefer that most of the college students or college track students be in either AP Lit or dual enrollment. In general, if you sit in honors, you're not getting any sort of college credit, and you're not getting the practice and the level of difficulty that you should be if you're a college-bound student. So if you're thinking about college and you're pretty sure that's your path, then you really should pick AP Lit or dual, as long as you do meet those requirements. Again, for dual, it's a 3.0 and a 20 on the ACT, and for AP, it would be a little bit higher than that. For both of those, we're mainly looking at just your English and your reading grades on the ACT. For dual, if you haven't taken the ACT, then your only option is to take the AccuPlacer exam at Nashville State, and that is a substitute exam that they will accept as long as you score the Nashville State requirements on that. And so you would need to talk to your guidance counselor for your senior year, and that would be Miss Underwood or Miss Perico, and see what Nashville State requires for the AccuPlacer if you have not taken the ACT and or you don't have a 20 on the ACT. And I do believe that we're going to bring the AccuPlacer to Rossview sometime in maybe late January, early February, if you need to take advantage of that. So if you have any questions, I'm in F114 in the foreign language hallway directly across from Ms. Galan. I'll be glad to explain anything you need to know about AP Lit or dual or any of your other options, especially if you're undecided. Come and see me. Again, Miss Angie Smith, F114 Foreign Language Hallway. Thanks and have a good rest of your year.